Hi there folks, it's Prepper Al here again, and today I'm just having a little bit of a man rant with regards to the Universal Credit. Universal Credit has been rolled out over the UK now for the past few years, and you know what? It is just a classic example of bad government, bad policy and failed policy. Universal Credit has saw an increase in suicide rates, an increase in homelessness, and a gross increase in rent arrears. And we're not just talking about 2 or 3 weeks here, we're talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 months at a time, because nobody at Universal Credit really knows what they're talking about. And I'm going to give you an example of that, because I and my wife claimed some Universal Credit, or attempted to claim some Universal Credit, and we went through all the motions, filled out all the online applications, etc., etc., and then we both had to go up to verify ourselves as real people with national insurance numbers, etc., etc. And you know what? Once we had did that, they automatically offered us a £900 advance. And I said to the lady, or key worker, whatever you want to call her, wait a minute, I don't understand that. You've just got the information completed. You have not assessed us yet for if we actually are entitled to assistance, yet you are offering us a £900 advance. And I asked her, how does that work? You know what she said to me, a key worker said to me? She says, oh, I don't really know, that's just how it's calculated. Now that's a key worker, a very nice lady, but she did not know how it works. She did not know how it works. And my wife and I walked out of there absolutely in shock. Now, we did accept an advance. We accepted an advance for a smaller amount of money. And you know what? We were not out the door 2 minutes, and that money was already put in my bank account. And my wife and I were looking at each other, and we were like, what the hell are they doing? They do not know what they're doing. Seriously. Universal Credit is one of the worst things ever invented, conjured up by any government. And I'm going to have and why I'm on my man rant today is the fact is this wee story on BBC Teletext, and it's on the Scottish news teletext, but it was on the UK teletext this morning, but it's now been removed. So it was basically food bank parcel numbers hit record high, and that's another aspect of Universal Credit: homelessness, rent arrears, suicide, and food banks. And I'll tell you what, I'm a former history and politics lecturer, and I've studied obviously history and politics at university and college. I never ever heard of food banks being used in this country until they rolled out Universal Credit. But anyway, so food bank parcel numbers hit record high. The number of emergency parcels handed out by food banks in Scotland jumped by nearly a quarter over the last year, new figures indicate. The Trussell Trust said its food banks provided more than 210,000 packages to people in crisis in 2018-19. It was a 23% jump from the previous year, and the charity described, see what I mean? Teletext is sometimes a bit dodgy. Here we go. The charity described the situation as unacceptable, and this is what the UK government has to say in response. The UK government said it would be wrong to blame benefit changes or delays for the figures. So why are the figures changing? Why are all these things happening? Why is food banks and food parcels increasing year on year? Why is homelessness increasing year on year? Why is people who are applying for Universal Credit becoming in rent arrears, becoming in debt, needing food banks and becoming homeless, and in some exceptional cases committing suicide because of anxiety, stress and depression? And this is UK government saying it would be wrong to blame the changes. You know what? Another government denied their policy. It was the Nazi government with their final solution. Now, I'm not saying the Nazi Second World War Holocaust is the same as universal credit, but the analogy is the same. It's a government policy that was rolled out. It was a disaster, and both governments just simply denied it. They would not accept any form of guilt. The Tory Conservative government are just saying, oh no, nothing to do with that. Food banks, homelessness, suicide, debt arrears, rent arrears, nothing to do with universal credit. And it was just the same at the Nuremberg trials, where the remnants of the Nazi government said, oh, the final solution, that was nothing to do with us. Yes, it was. Every department in the Nazi German government participated. 6 million people died in the camps, 5 million people died elsewhere, and everyone, apart from Albert Speer, every one of the German cabinet, basically denied it. No, didn't happen. That was nothing to do with me, even though their signatures were all over it and they knew about it. But they just denied it, and that's what the Tory government's doing. It's a failed policy. The policy's a disaster, and they're just ignoring people's concerns and just saying, oh no, it would be wrong to blame us. But it's their policy. Why? And I know my channel is Prepper Al. It's about prepper and survival for grid down shit hits the fan situation. Why are we talking about this? Why am I on a man rant? Because this is a classic example of bad government. This is a government policy creating homelessness, creating poverty, creating debt, and we as citizens and we as voters need to wake up. And if we want a better life in Scotland and in the wider UK, then we need to get rid of these people. We need to vote these guys out of office, and whatever government takes over, they need to put the brakes on this universal credit. This is an outrage. It's absolutely disgusting. My blood is absolutely boiling, because just that, the UK government said it would be wrong to blame benefit changes or delays for the figures. But they're not given an alternative explanation of why these figures are changing. That's because they've got no other explanation. They can't blame it on anybody else, but they can't accept liability. So, that's my man rant. I hope this man rant video makes sense to a lot of people. I hope it opens a lot of people's eyes and gets the potatoes out your ears as well, folks. We need to start waking up, and we need to start doing something about this. And when push comes to shove, the only real power we have is our vote. And regardless of Brexit, regardless of independence, referendums, etc., this is a priority. We need to get rid of this Conservative, Tory, nasty party government who will push you down and blame you for being pushed down. Okay, right. I'm going to quit while my head before I say something I really regret. Anyway, right, Prepper Al here. Thank you for tuning in. Mind, subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will catch you later.